So we are not quite so live here with the video game finals for the Masters Division of the World Championship. We're having some technical difficulties with the internet here. Maybe a volcano exploded, we're not quite sure. But we are archiving this, we're going to be recording it for review, so it will be broadcast out at some point today. And I'm once again joined by Chris Shepard from the Pokemon Company. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thanks a lot, this should be a good one as well.
So here we are seeing Wolfe, Glick, and Rizzo kind of giving one last shot at seeing what their opponents are bringing.
Yes, new to as of last year, the two opponents get a chance for a minute and a half to look at what the other opponent's Pokemon are. All they know is what the Pokemon is and what gender it is.
And we are kind of, this is part of the mind games too, right? Since you'd expect initially to see the top 4 Pokemon to be what you're going to be battling with, but that's not always the case.
Right. These guys think about everything. They'll put the Pokemon in a specific order for that precise reason. Rizzo is also, to his admission, classically a very deliberate player. He'll spend a lot of time looking at this and making decisions based off of which Pokemon they have.
And players are allowed to take the full time, right? They're not rushed through it. So
players are also allowed, as of this year, to take notes on their as they play. So they might be using that time to write down what their opponent's Pokemon are.
Right, or maybe reference notes, so they're allowed to use notes from previous matches as well.
I believe that they have to start with a fresh sheet, but okay. I believe that's the case. I'm not 100% sure.
So it looks like we're starting with Thundurus and Terrakion from Wolfe, Glick.
Wolfe, Glick's starting out with that. Terrakion is a powerful Pokemon. And then Rizzo begins with Hydreigon and Metagross.
These are starts we've seen before from these players.
Yeah, Hydreigon has a couple of different routes, but what we would expect from Ray is maybe a Metagross that can do Earthquake, while Hydreigon can avoid that with his Levitate ability.
So we're seeing some black bars over the hit points here.
Right.
Is that some technical expertise, some magic?
Right.
So this is so maybe that Wolfe can't see how many hit points exactly that.
Right. We want specific hit points. We want them to have the exact same information as it appears up on the screen. This is the way they can do it.
They can both see the big screen up there, right?
Right. Exactly.
So we're starting off with close combat.
Right.
The crowd seems very energetic.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll notice in critical hit to start the match, and Metagross goes down.
That's a strong start.
Yes.
So
Wolfe's off to a fantastic start.
And that's not a likely start. That's a critical hit. So
now Hydreigon is he's going to use Draco Meteor,
and his item's gonna increase the strength there, which does not happen every time.
Right. That'll happen only once. And
that's enough to do that as well.
Both Terrakion go down.
So we're still fairly even between the two of them.
Both.
And again,
that's
a
gem. That's a one-time use. So Thundurus won't have that extra attack on future, extra ability on future attacks.
Not very effective.
Despite not being effective, that's why they use the dragon. Oh, and the critical hit really put the damage into him. Now they'll both get to choose a side Pokemon, another Pokemon to bring in.
So who do you expect them to bring in here?
Well, they're off to an interesting start. I don't think both of them expected to lose a Pokemon on the first round. So
well, it's a bit unexpected.
Yeah, a little bit. You'll notice the command time. They have 40 seconds to choose what to do here. So Wolfe chooses to bring in Heatran, a powerful fire and steel Pokemon.
Right. And Tyranitar just
Tyranitar, when it comes into play, it causes a sandstorm effect. So certain Pokemon will take damage between every turn, and certain Pokemon will get certain attacks will do extra damage.
Right. So it's specific attacks for specific Pokemon. It's not all of the attacks.
It is rock type attacks that do extra damage. And ground type.
And 1/16 of the Pokemon's hit points at the end of each? Or?
I believe that's the number, but I'm not certain. It is a small amount of damage.
Okay. So it looks like Sandstorm increases the special defense of some Pokemon as well, right?
Okay, right.
So is this kind of a Sandstorm team from Rizzo?
Yes. Ray has a couple of different styles that he likes to play that he can all execute from the same team, and Sandstorm is one aspect that he can use.
Okay. So we see Hidden Power here. Hidden Power is an interesting attack because it can have different attack types.
Right. Based on the stats of the Pokemon, Hidden Power will be a specific type. It won't change during battle. It's fixed.
So we see a substitute.
Right.
And this Heatran, I think, has substitute and also protect, right?
This Heatran, does it have
From
protect?
Wolfe?
It does. Yes, it does.
So huge, but not quite enough to take him out.
But the Cresselia, let's see, the Thundurus took a little bit of damage from the
Sandstorm?
Sandstorm as well. So it's not. It's
Unhappy.
definitely against the ropes, and that's where Sandstorm can make a big difference.
Yeah, and it looks like there's low enough here that Thundurus is going to be either subbed out or knocked out here.
Exactly.
Either way.
Wolfe. We're gonna. Oh.
So here we see each player's point of view. Each player is going to see the same screen,
Right.
just from different points of view.
Right. And even though we get to see that during the broadcast, that won't be visible to the players up on stage. The choices that the opponent has to make.
Right. So Thunder Wave is one of those attacks that has a special effect.
Has a decent chance of paralyzing the
Right.
Pokemon.
And it looks like Hydrogen is paralyzed.
Right. And it worked. So not only was Hydreigon paralyzed, it'll also be slower now.
Okay. Which
Heatran
seems
uses
pretty good.
substitute
Use substitute again. So
Right.
substitute is one of those ways of kind of preventing the one-hit KOs and just a longer-term defensive move.
Right. It'll take the damage.
And so it seems like Wolfe is really using the Heatran as kind of not just an attacker, but also a way to survive and keep someone on the field.
Right. And we'll see what if this is enough to take out Thundurus right now.
Looks like it.
Oh, Thundurus is
Oh,
barely
not quite.
hanging on.
Oh. So Thunder Wave. So it looks like Thunder Wave might actually always paralyze.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. I'm sorry. Hydreigon, Ray Rizzo has told us that he likes to sub out his Pokemon, so he's not afraid to pull that Hydreigon, who is not only low on damage, but has a status and condition already.
And there's absolutely some strategic plays to subbing Pokemon out. You don't just leave them in until they get knocked out.
Absolutely. So Wolfe brought his Thundurus out finally as well, and he'll bring in the Psychic-type Cresselia.
So that's protect. That's kind of taking in a gamble that you're going to attack that turn.
Right.
And we see a protect from Hydreigon as well.
Right.
Which, with the paralyze, might not have actually gone off.
Let's see what happened. So Heatran knew he was going to be targeted by Tyranitar and decided to protect. Wolfe decided to protect right there.
And while the Sandstorm's going, those protect turns, which might otherwise do nothing,
Right.
are in fact doing incremental damage to everyone.
Right.
Which is enough to be a serious threat to Hydreigon.
We just got to see Cresselia's got leftovers so that it can kind of counteract what that Sandstorm is doing.
Right. And this kind of focus in and out is, for the player's view, him giving commands. So if you see zoom in, zoom out, that's actually input of commands. So you can kind of get an impression that when they go quick like that, he knows exactly what he's doing. He has a plan.
It's both of these players do like to take their time, however. It's not, especially Ray talking about how he likes to think about his plays a lot. He sees no issue with rushing. But you can see there is a battle time, so they can't take forever.
Right, and if that time runs out, it's whoever has more Pokemon out, or Pokemon not knocked out, that takes the game.
It is whoever has the most Pokemon remaining.
But you hear some of the commentary from the back from the non-masters, from the juniors and the seniors divisions.
Right. So Cresselia Citrus Berry just gets some energy back, and both of those Pokemon, both of the Cresselias in play have ways to get their energy back because of the Sandstorm. They know they're going to take damage from it, so they're trying to counteract that. And
Cresselia is not well known for hit points, right? They're middle tier, maybe a little bit lower on.
But they are strong Pokemon for Psychic-type Pokemon. Maybe Psychic-type Pokemon in general are not the strongest, but Cresselia is still a strong Pokemon.
And it makes sense. We're seeing a lot of teams with Cresselia on.
Right.
So.
It has a lot of different good attacks that it can use as well. It has many different ways that it can attack.
So we see some thought going into this time. It seems a little bit less.
Right. Heatran once again uses Protect.
That low on
Tyranitar uses Protect. So it looks like only the Cresselia are going to attack this round.
Looks like they're both kind of being timid. So at this point, since they've both been playing for 2 days now, how much of the Protect is feeling out your opponent and seeing how they're going to be playing?
I think especially in this first game, maybe they haven't met each other yet, and they're.
Well, I think they've played each other in kind of previous events, but.
Absolutely, but not with these teams.
People's styles change absolutely between one year to the next.
That's correct. As a matter of fact, Rizzo, who is the 2-time defending world champion, knocked out Wolfe Glick in the round of 8 last year. So Wolfe is definitely angling for retribution right now.
So we saw kind of a move there. We saw Trick Room, which is going to switch the order in which Pokemon act. So that's going to be of huge benefit to the Tyranitar.
Exactly. Tyranitar is typically a slow Pokemon, but when Trick Room goes into play, all of the speed of the Pokemon gets inverted. So Tyranitar will suddenly become one of the faster Pokemon.
It looks like Tyranitar is taking out the Heatran there.
And, Wolfe loses 2 Pokemon now. Now, remember that even though they have 6 Pokemon on their party, when they start, they choose only 4 Pokemon. So at this point, Wolfe has 1 more Pokemon to bring in, and then that's the remainder for the match.
Yeah. So that's leftovers again. That's every turn.
Every turn, a little bit. And now that Sandstorm isn't going, I believe Sunny Day is still going.
Yeah.
He won't be taking damage, so every turn Cresselia is getting stronger.
So you have to either kind of focus on Cresselia and end that, or focus on the other Pokemon and kind of gain a little bit of virtual advantage there by just letting them be at full life with their Cresselia.
That appears to be the case so far. Oh, that's right. Thundurus was almost down. So
it looks like, he kind of sees the writing on the wall and he's going to forfeit here.
That looks like what happened.
So again, that's just game 1. It's best 2 of 3.
Right.
So going into game 2, they're going to be able to switch up not only which 4 Pokemon they're using, but who starts out active and who starts out on the bench.
Right. So they'll make some decisions and come out with 4. They'll come out with different Pokemon this time. Maybe have a different start, like we talked about.
And really quick, while they're connecting, while they're running through the battle network, we're gonna announce the winner for the second trivia question. That winner is going to be Amanda H, username LilSweetie196 of Norfolk. You have won yourself a full Pokemon swag kit, all that exclusive stuff from Kona, Hawaii that you can only get here. Congratulations to Amanda.
All right, so now once again they get to see the Pokemon. I would not be surprised if they don't take quite as much time. They already know the 6 Pokemon that could be drawn.
Right. Well, we were talking about being more deliberate. At this point, kind of seeing what their opponents have chosen.
Right.
Are they going to be reactive or are they going to be more proactive?
I think, especially Wolfe may try to mix it up. He has sort of I wouldn't say unconventional team, but he has a team that does not have a clearly defined strategy like a Sandstorm team or a Trick Room team.
One that doesn't quite match up to the rest of the top 8.
Right, so he has a lot of options, and he might come out with something that we haven't seen.
We were talking a bit about kind of his openers and what he wants to do.
Well, he likes to start out with Hitmontop because Hitmontop has the Fake Out move, which works only on the first round when that Pokemon is present.
Forces the Pokemon to flinch. They don't.
And it gives 100% flinch on the Pokemon that it targets. So it's a good way to start a round, get an early hit, and if he thinks Ray is going to be setting up a Sandstorm attack or something like that, he can slow that down.
And I believe that Metagross's ability is that he includes being immune to flinch, right? The Clear Body?
I believe so. Clear Body, that's correct.
So we're seeing...
So now we do get to see Hitmontop.
We're seeing Hitmontop, and we are not seeing Metagross. We're seeing Hydreigon and his own Cresselia. This is Intimidate, which is lowering the attack of the opponent's team.
Right. Just by virtue of Hitmontop being into the play, both of those Pokemon are now, both of its opponent's Pokemon are now lower in attack.
And this is good because it doesn't take an action here. It is just an effect that comes. So he still gets to take an attack this turn.
Right.
Still gets to take an attack.
So this is more of the start that I was expecting from Wolfe, getting Hitmontop out there to get an early attack.
So I was incorrect. It's Inner Focus that's no flinch. Clear Body is no stat change. So Clear Body would prevent that Intimidate from affecting him.
And we see Ray wasting no time to bring out a different Pokemon.
Metagross isn't that surprising here, right?
Metagross with Earthquake probably is a good matchup against Wolfe's team, but
I was seeing more subs.
Right. Well, yes. What we'll see is Cresselia's skill swap.
We were talking about this leading up.
What that does is it makes Heatran levitate so that Metagross's Earthquake won't do any damage.
And this is a big thing because Earthquake would otherwise be dealing 4 times as much damage to Heatran, right?
There's no way that Heatran would be able to avoid massive damage by that Metagross if it used its Earthquake.
So we're seeing some deliberation here, maybe some more decisions on what exactly we're going to follow the plans moving forward.
Right. With that skill swap, now
Despite
maybe
what
that
it looks
changes
like.
Ray's plans to use Earthquake effectively.
And that means
Especially
that
because with Heatran being a fire type, it could do a lot of damage against the steel type Metagross.
Right. So we see another sub. That means that Cresselia now has Flash Fire as its ability.
That's correct. And Flash Fire means that fire type attacks will actually draw to the Cresselia.
So
you're actually correct that Metagross wouldn't take the damage from any attacks that Heatran would hit. It would go to Cresselia.
Right. At least until we see more subbing like this. Tyranitar subbed in, so that's, again, Sandstorm. That's going to do some incidental damage at the end of each turn. And this is Intimidate again. This is kind of adding up and using that ability over and over. It's you would lose the action for subbing out, but you get that incidental bonus from the ability, and so it's not quite as much of a tempo hit as it would be without that ability.
And Cresselia is taking the damage, but Ray's Cresselia has that Citrus Berry that we saw used in the first round. So if Cresselia gets too worn down, it will gain quite a bit of that energy back with the Citrus Berry.
So that bar is kind of deceptive. You know, if it's going down slowly, it's going to fill back up. Unless, what if we see maybe a critical hit, a super effective critical hit?
Right. You know, Cresselia is actually in a good position because of its type advantage over Hitmontop, but you know that it should be a target. It's a powerful Pokemon with a lot of different ways it can attack. I would not be surprised to see Wolfe attack Ray directly on the Cresselia.
Right. And certainly less hit points to punch through than the Tyranitar, right?
Right. Tyranitar is a beast. He's definitely the more burly of the Pokemon.
So is that Chople Berry getting used that weakens damage?
That's correct. It weakens fighting damage, which...
and that's a one-shot item?
It's a one-shot item,
consumed,
right.
so that's the only time that happens for that Heatran. this game.
Right.
So that is now Heatran getting a higher attack, but also becoming confused.
Right. So sometimes instead of attacking, it will do damage to itself. And we just saw Cresselia taking weak damage against a fighting type attack. Fighting types are attacks do not do well against psychic type Pokemon.
Right.
And
so this looks like perhaps he wants Heatran. If he's going to deal damage to himself, it'll deal damage to the substitute instead now, right?
Right, exactly. Heatran obviously took serious damage to that first hit, so.
A third of the way through the time for battle now. Probably not going to run to time, but this is something that the players do need to be aware of.
These, especially early on when there were so many switches without a lot of damage being done to either of these Pokemon, the time could get a lot more important.
Right, so we see an average of maybe 10 to 13, 14 turns of things to do in a battle.
That sounds about right. That's a good question. How many times they actually choose moves, and that sounds about right.
And the substitution seemed pretty fast. Both of the players knew what was going to be going on, what they were going to be doing. So that's not going to take a lot of time off the clock, but it will take some.
Cresselia is going to use Psyshock, which is going to be super effective against Hitmontop.
And it certainly looks that way.
It almost
Not
takes it out.
quite.
Hitmontop hangs on.
Yeah. Is the Sandstorm going to be enough to take down, do you think? So this is, again, a Chople Berry.
Just like we saw, that reduces the damage by fighting type attacks, which a rock dark Pokemon has to be worried about.
Right. And again, one shot, so it's no longer usable. That's his one grace period.
Right.
So Hitmontop is buffeted, and
is that enough to take it out?
No, it looks like he is not feigning from that.
Wow.
He has just a sliver left.
Cresselia and Hitmontop are on the ropes. One more round, and both of them are gone from the Sandstorm.
So I think what we do here is we avoid the Hitmontop, right? Because there's no way he's going to live through it.
Right. You don't have to worry about attacking Hitmontop to knock it out. You'd rather find a way to focus on Heatran.
Maybe one attack to attempt to take out Heatran, one attack to maybe gain some health back, or a protect.
I think a protect and a withdraw might be what they do here.
Okay. And Heatran is no longer confused.
And there's the protect like we talked about.
This was a fairly good turn there.
Yeah.
So that low kick's no effect, again, because of the protect. And Ice Beam.
Didn't do much against that Cresselia, did it?
Right. And so Ice Beam is one of those moves you bring in to kind of attack Pokemon's weaknesses. It's not known for being a universally high attack.
And it looks like skill swap just ended as well. So now Heatran is once again vulnerable to ground type attacks.
So I'm having a couple people say that it was a mistake for Hitmontop to hit Cresselia. I don't know. I would not hesitate to. I would hesitate to comment on whether or not it was a mistake. I'm certainly not at this level of combat. I have my duo watt and play there, but
I do have faith that the two-time national champion, two-time world champion are pretty confident in their abilities. But at the same time, Hitmontop was definitely never going to do serious damage against that Cresselia.
So I think skill swap is still going on, but Trick Room ended, right?
Oh, I thought that it said that the dimensions returned to normal.
Right. So that's Trick Room.
Oh, okay.
We brought Trick Room back, so Tyranitar is going to be once again acting faster than he would otherwise, which is important because he's kind of slow and lumbering.
Right.
And we're getting close to 2/3 through the time, so.
Right.
If we can't really see the players now, but they both kind of seem on edge, a little bit nervous, as they very well should be. This is a very important match.
Right. I'm sure. Wolfe is seeing Ray as a two-time world champion. Wolfe wants one of his own.
it's intimidating there. It's absolutely, but there's also a little bit of wanting revenge, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since Ray knocked Wolfe out last year.
So bringing in Hitmontop, who is, very, very low.
Very low on energy on HP right now.
So, as far as mistakes go, how possible is it that maybe he just touched the wrong button on who to attack? Because I think close combat would have been very good against Tyranitar, right?
Maybe he chose. Yeah, maybe it was accidentally chose the wrong Pokemon.
So we're down to a not very healthy Hitmontop. That is a couple stressed players.
Right, we just got a shot of Wolfe. He looks a little bit stressed right now. Now, Wolfe talked about his Terrakion being one of his strongest Pokemon. It has a choice band item, so that boosts his attack, but whatever attack he uses right now will be the only attack he can use for as long as Terrakion's in play.
And you can sub Terrakion out and do a different move when he comes back.
Absolutely.
But now he can't, right? Because he just doesn't have the resources.
Right, he's down to the Pokemon that he's got, so that are in the field. So, or did he have Cresselia still?
Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm assuming that Hitmontop's going to be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Going to die this turn. Get knocked out, rather. So what do we think his choice is going to be for the moves? He's going to be stuck with one of them. Are we seeing Rock Slide maybe?
Yeah, it's hard to say because Rock Slide's not going to do particularly a lot of damage against the Rock type Tyranitar.
Doesn't look like it's going to be relevant.
Right. Wolfe looks stunned.
Well, it's one of those you can't help but be stunned there.
Right.
What can this mean for the young and rising star of the U.S. Pokemon team?
So it looks like
the match was forfeited. That was it.
Yeah.
Wolfe knew he didn't have the moves left, and
So that's it.
Unbelievable. Three-time Pokemon World Champion, Ray Rizzo.
Congratulations to him.
Yes, unbelievable.
First time ever a three-time world champion, right?
And Ray Rizzo is a fantastic sport and an excellent player. So is Wolfe Glick, but that was amazing.
And second place is certainly not particularly sad to be taking second place.
No, and just like the Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships, he'll be back next year. Wolfe will to try to knock the crown off of Ray. We'll see if it happens.
Good.
All right.
So I think
that was an excellent match. Ray appeared to really dominate that match from beginning to end.
Knew what he was doing.
Yes.
So I think at this point we've got the closing ceremony coming up some point soon.
Yep.
We've got a couple extra things here. Maybe some trivia to give out, some extra prizes. So once again, thank you, Chris Shepard.
Thanks a lot. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great.
And we will maybe try to check in with you later.
All right.
Maybe see some closing ceremonies.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
So we now have our world champions, Ray Rizzo.
Rizzo.
So how about that?
I was really hoping for that big upset, just because I'm an underdog fan. But you know what? He dominated.
He did, and it was pretty solid. He seems very happy about it, very excited, as he should be.
Surprisingly enough, I don't think he was really surprised. I think he felt really confident going in, and he knew that, he was the dominant player throughout the entire match.
He kind of ran the way through it. He was undefeated. He wasn't, a loss or two day one and then making his way through the top 8. He did not drop a match. Games, yes, but not a match the entire weekend.
Definitely stayed focused.
On fire.
And that's a true mark of a champion there. Ray Rizzo, congratulations, 2012 Masters Pokemon
Video game
World Champion.
See
All right, so we're gonna move on to a little more trivia. We got
We are,
one
but
more.
First,
Oh yeah.
First, we're going to answer some comments. Talk to some people.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of people have been asking what our favorite Pokemon are.
My favorite Pokemon is Tepig.
Tepig?
Yes.
The black-white starter?
He's just an adorable little Pokemon dude.
He's
a pig.
terribly cute. And we have seen Tepig kind of wandering around here, right?
I took a picture with him, actually.
Right? Do we have that picture anywhere?
I don't know. I somewhere.
I think we may have that
No, we
picture
don't.
up on coverage at some
It's
point.
on coverage somewhere, and
You
that's
see
fine.
Homer with his starter Pokemon.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah. To be fair,
I'm
my
staying next to
favorite.
it.
I'm also a big fan of the black and white starters.
Yeah?
Oshawott is terribly cute, and still in my party.
All right.
All those months later. So.
Well, there you go.
There you go. There are our favorite Pokemons.
Yeah.
Do we have any other? See if we can find.
Yeah.
some other stuff.
What
We do
other
have more
What
trivia.
other trivia we got going on? Or what other questions we got?
Yeah, we can do trivia. We can do trivia while let's
You want to do some trivia? All right. Again, for your opportunity to win the Pokemon 2012 World Championship swag bag, deck box, Pikachu Tiki Dude, Pikachu with a Tiki hat, diagram,
All this stuff.
luggage, pens, pencils, binders, stickers. It can all be won by submitting your answer, your name, your mailing address,
Your
and your
username.
username
GameSpot
handle.
username.
GameSpot username. If you're not a registered GameSpot user, go to the site. Register. It's free for an opportunity to win
All this stuff.
the swag bag. Arthur,
All right, are we ready for the
hit
question?
him on the spot at GameSpot.com.
All right. How about how many officially licensed Pokemon games have currently been released?
All right.
So once again, it's how many official Pokemon games are currently released.
All right.
So email those answers in. See
Email
if you
your
can win
answers
some cool
in.
stuff.
Cynthia wanted us to give us a shout out to her.
Yeah, she also thinks that
She's a
Oshawott
big Oshawott.
is the correct answer. Not just her favorite, the right answer.
Wow.
For favorite Pokemon. She might feel a bit strongly about this.
I guess so, since that is the only right answer.
So you see here the
All right, we're gonna.
the coverage. We've still got one of the three
Yep.
matches going on. It looks like
The seniors, right?
Seniors, which
Yep.
is the 11 to 16-year-olds.
They're still
we don't
going
have
at
a
it.
video
They're
feed
still
for
going
that,
at it. If you can see behind us, there it is.
which is
at
not
that.
a very good video feed.
Look
but
at those
you
guys.
can see some. Oh, we do have that. So
There it
You
is.
can see some intense concentration, some intense
some focus.
competition.
There's some definite focus going on there.
And some unexpected. You can't help but smile at that sort of
Yeah.
face because you know
They're still
something
deep in
serious
battle
happened.
there. And, I did notice that throughout the duration. Whoa! I think did we crown a champion there?
That was something interesting. I'm honestly not sure.
I don't know what happened. It's behind us. So there's a lot of Americans. There's a lot of Americans in these finals.
But it's not just let's not do that. It's an international game.
It
There's
is.
a lot of people from
it
all
certainly is.
around.
I'm just stating facts. I mean,
Well,
the
there's
juniors, there was 2 Americans in the final.
It's a very, very competitive,
Yes.
community in the U.S. There's a
I
lot
guess
of
so.
play. There's teams that are springing up. And again, you have to have competitive players to practice against. And
Right.
You have the worldwide play with the various online plays, but
Yep.
it's if you're playing at 2:00 in the morning, and people around the world are at work. Like it's sometimes hard to sync up when they're not in the same area. So
Definitely.
there's a big community in the U.S. It's not just a small group of good players. It's a large group of players.
It's a huge
that's part of
pool
it, too.
of players with different strategies.
We're going to be selecting the winner for the trivia coming up here.
All right.
If we don't have time to do it on the feed here, it will be announced at the community page on
Definitely.
GameSpot.com.
We'll make some
So-
time to announce the winners. That's what I'm getting in the old headset there. But it looks like we're going to be
Game 3.
presenting the champions as soon as this last match is done.
I think that may be 1-1.
Oh yeah. Let's see what happens.
So I think they're actually going to Game 3 for the seniors division.
All right, this is the last game right here. Let's just tune in right here. It's getting pretty hot.
All right, trainers, they need you. They need your energy. Let's hear it for Jaime.
Let's take some questions or
Sorry.
comments.
My mistake. Not the front page GameSpot. The GameSpot community news.
Oh, yep.
So correct
Cynthia's
that
giving
there.
us the heads up. We're going to announce the winner in the GameSpot community news.
So if you're tuning into this on coverage, on rebroadcast coverage, it looks like we may be selecting from all of the answers.
Yes.
So if you're unable to see this live, maybe you have work in the morning, maybe you've got some other obligations.
Or maybe you're just on the East Coast.
And asleep. You're not very dedicated if you're on the East Coast and asleep, but we forgive you, and we will still give you a chance to win this last prize package with all that exclusive swag. We will let people know in a bit, giving everybody ample opportunity to win that prize. It will be announced on the GameSpot community news. So let's see if we can find some questions, some comments from people.
Let's check out some comments here.
You like Hawaii? You having a good time here?
I'm waiting to Hawaii. There's a lot going on the internet's talking about Ray Rizzo. Why don't you read some of the comments from?
Ray Rizzo is very, very popular online right now.
He is a popular
There's a lot
dude.
of congratulations.
Yep.
There's a lot of not surprised comments. A lot of I knew he was going to get theirs, which it kind of seemed that way. It did. He really knew what he was doing.
He pretty much owned. All right, folks. Join us a little bit later. We're going to take a temporary break as we prepare for the closing ceremonies,
Should
we'll present all of the winners, the runners-ups, and the second runner-ups. So stay tuned. We'll be right back live from the Pokemon World Championships 2012 from Kona, Hawaii.